And as we've been doing, we will end our reliance on China and other countries for drugs and other things. We will make our critical drugs, medicines, and supplies here in the United States. We will give tax credits to companies to bring jobs back to America. And if they don't do it, we'll put tariffs on those companies, and they'll have to pay us a lot of money. So what are they going to do? They're going to bring the jobs back. In every action, every moment, and every decision, I'm fighting for you. I'm fighting for Pennsylvania. A lot of people got rich and got powerful at your expense. Now, these same liberal hypocrites want to open our borders and let violent mobs rule the streets while they live in Waldorf compounds and communities. They want to defund police while hiring private security. They want to let rioters burn churches while jailing you for praying in your church. They want to abolish school choice while sending their children to the best private schools in the land. They want to cancel you, totally cancel you, take your job, turn your family against you for speaking your mind, while they indoctrinate your children with twisted worldviews that nobody ever thought possible. You notice they're not knocking down statues and monuments anymore. Because when I saw what was happening, I took an old law and I signed a nice new executive order. And then I explained, 10 years if you knock down a statue, federal statue or monument. And they were all set to march on Washington. We're going to knock down some nice statues. And then they said, you know what? Let's not march. The march ended very quickly. There was no more marching. They said, 10 years, that's a long time. It's a long time to knock over a statue that many people love and many people don't. And there's a way of getting it down. You do it through a legal process. It'll go quickly if it's right. Joe Biden is the candidate of these privileged liberal hypocrites who hold you and your values in disdain. But you can send them all a thundering message on Election Day by voting for Trump Pence. Do we love our vice president? Do we love our vice president? I'll tell you. I watched Kamala last night, and I said, I'll take Mike. I'll take Mike by a lot. He's been a great vice president, actually. Pennsylvania is the state that gave us the Declaration of Independence, Valley Forge, Gettysburg, and generations of American patriots, just like you. You're patriots. You love this country. That's why you're here. You're sitting in this boiling, crazy hot sun. But you're smarter than me because with you, it's on the back of your head. With me, I'm going to go home and my wife is going to say, what happened? You look like a lobster. Look at the sun. This is great. I want to look like Lou, nice and dark, right, Lou? But with Lou, it's a little easier, I think. This is the state where workers got their hands dirty mining the coal and forging the steel that raised up the mightiest nation in the history of the world. And we're going to be stronger than ever before. Remember that we are going to be stronger than ever before. And that's happening right now. Proud citizens like you help build this country. And you know this, look. Together, we're taking back our country. But I was just thinking, as I said, stronger. They want to come in and raise your taxes. They want to come in and put regulations on all of your factories and all of your jobs and all of your personal things, little things, and they laugh at it when I say it. The light bulb, those new expensive light bulbs. I said, what happened to the old ones? They're better. They said they were mandated out. I said, why? Nobody could explain why. I said, we're letting them back. The light bulbs are back. Dishwashers. They have dishwashers. They don't give you any water. They give you not enough water, so they're lousy. So what do people do? They press the button again and again. No water. I let them have lots of water. We just got back from Whirlpool in Ohio. They're thriving now because of what I did to competition from other countries. I tariffed them. And Whirlpool now went from a company that was just about over to a company that's thriving. Sink faucets, shower faucets. I won't say the third element of the bathroom because they always just bring that up. So I won't say that, but you know what I'm talking about. They don't allow water. You go into a new hotel, you turn on the water, there's no water. I opened it up. I said they could have as much water. I mean, does Pennsylvania have a problem with water? No. Yeah, you have a problem with water. You have too much of it, right? You have too much water. You got to get rid of it. So why are we having restrictors? They have restrictors on, so I took it off. These are little things. I tell you about them. A lot of people appreciate them. A lot of people don't know about it. But now you can go out buy a light bulb for a tiny fraction of the cost. It's better. Won't last as long, but it's better. It's better light. Makes me look much better. That's a very important thing. But you can buy now faucets where water actually comes out. And so instead of having it like on for many times longer, and actually when I take a shower, I can have water hit my hair instead of drop. It's hard enough, my hair, without that. So now we can actually have water pouring out of our shower heads, okay? So a lot of good things. We've done a lot of things that nobody talks about, nobody writes about, but it's about quality of life. And I think the people really appreciate it. I really do. Not so easy to do. Not so easy to do. I don't think anybody else could have done it. Nobody else would have thought to do things like that, but nobody else would have done it. We're returning power to you, the American people, from Scranton to Easton. How's Ernie doing? Good? Huh? How good is Ernie, right? Is he great? Ernie Holmes. He was heavyweight champ, right? The champ. Larry, sorry about that. I know another one named Ernie Holmes. Larry Holmes, is he still in the area of, how good was Larry, right? That was probably Muhammad Ali's most dangerous fight. I've never seen anything like it. Muhammad would never go down, but Larry Holmes was a great champion, and I know he loved Easton. He used to tell me that I want to invest my money in Easton. I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. I hope he's doing well, but he was one hell of a fighter. From Scranton to Easton to Allentown, we're going to fight for every job, every family, every neighborhood, and every vote. Together we'll unite citizens of every race, color, religion, and creed as one people, one family, one glorious nation under God. That's another word they don't want you to say, God. You know that, right? Did you see they were doing something last night that was extremely basic and always has had the word God in it, and they decided to take the word God out. But this is where they're coming from. They're coming to get you. This is where they're coming from. And we're the wall between the American dream and total insanity and the destruction of the greatest country in the history of the world. We're all that stands. We're all that stands. And a typical Republican probably wouldn't get there, but I think I'm, very Republican in many ways, but your typical Republican would not be able to win. Like your area, this has always been a Democrat area, and yet the votes for Trump here are through the roof. You know how successful we were 4 years ago. Incredible. It's a great area. These are great people. They're great, hardworking, incredible people, and we love them. With your drive and devotion, we will win a historic victory on November 3rd, and we will make America greater than it's ever been before. I just want to thank the people of Scranton, the lack of home, okay, the lack of home for Joe Biden. Remember, the next time, we've got to stop him from saying these things. But you look at, he's going to make a speech tonight. It's going to be very interesting to see how he does. And I hope he does well. I'll be honest, I do. I hope he does well. I really hope he does well. But I also want him to tell the truth. He's got to tell the truth about things. And he's going to do a lot better if he does. But hopefully not well enough. Right now, we are leading a war that's incredible. But right now, we're leading in so many polls that they refuse to put out. We're doing so good in this state, in North Carolina, in Florida, in Texas, in Ohio, in Michigan. You know how many car plants are being built or expanded in Michigan? We're doing fantastically in Michigan. We're doing great in New Hampshire. These are real polls. These aren't suppression polls. These aren't polls where they do registered voters. Registered. No. You want to do voters that are going to vote. Registered voters. You want to do what's called likely voters. Likely. In other words, people that are likely to vote, not registered voters, many of whom have died, many of whom aren't going to vote. And then you want to do an even count. You don't want to do many more Democrats. They do a poll, many, right? Many Democrats, few Republicans. Trump is down by 6. And then you look and you say, well, if that poll is true, we're up by 10. So we're going to see, you're going to see, they did it last time. They had me losing every swing state. I think they had me losing like 9 states. Then I won. But he's going to lose, right? You were the first one that told me, Lou. He's going to lose 7 swing states. He's going to lose them all. He's down by 14. Washington Post, ABC. They had me down 1 week before the election, 12 to 14 points. The day of the election, because we complained that it was a fake poll. So they changed it the day of the election, and they had us just about even. Remember that whole big deal? We said, you can't say we're done, because that's called suppression. Then you say, hey, I love Trump, but I can't vote for him because I don't have the time, because he's not going to win. But if you would have gone out and voted, we would have won. The problem was last time for them, 2016, everybody went out and voted. There was no suppression. There was incredible exhilaration, except on the other side, that they would not. You ever see those pictures of the craziness going on? But the polls were fake, just like their stories are fake, just like the news is fake. The polls are even worse. And we're now actually doing worse. One of the most accurate polls was Rasmussen. And Rasmussen came out today. Did you see it? 51 for Trump, 51. I think they were one of the 3 most accurate polls. And the ones that are telling the truth. Sometimes, I mean, they have a poll that came out recently that was very favorable. They refused to release it. They didn't want the people to see it. What kind of stuff is this? That's why you're going to do a great job, right? You're going to make sure this stuff doesn't happen, but we're going to make sure too. So we're going to win this, and I think we're going to win it really big. When you see those people outside, and I mean, you can take this crowd and multiply it times, it looks like 100, right? You can multiply it times 100, but when you see this crowd and when you see the kind of enthusiasm, there's nothing like it. We're leading, by the way, even they admit, we're leading by enthusiasm, by numbers like they've never seen before, record numbers, meaning we have record enthusiasm, and he has a record lack of enthusiasm. And that is a big factor.